I'm Dr. Manjit Kaur from the School of Languages. Okay, today I'll be presenting to you on academic writing. Actually, the slides which I have here is a compressed version of what you can take one semester or half a year to learn. Okay, so this is a compressed version. To find more information, you need to go and read up more. Okay, there's a lot of references in the library. You can go to the internet, YouTube, so a lot of ways, and also you can come to our School of Languages. There's one program, one course, LHP series, which is academic writing. Okay, you can join that for one semester if you really want to improve your academic writing, especially for those who are planning to further their studies after this, your master's level or PhD. The LHP series, academic writing, will be very good for you, very beneficial. Okay, because this is a compressed version, just to give you a clue, an idea of how you can maneuver around when you do your assignments, your reports, and also when you write your essays for your LSP courses. Okay, LSP 300 and 400 and so on. Okay, basically the focus here is on writing assignments. Okay, assignments, reports in English. Okay, I'm not sure how many of you write in English and how many of you have to write in Bahasa Malaysia, but whatever is shared here today, you can apply in Bahasa Malaysia also. Okay, that's what I want to say. Okay, let's start off. Okay, today we're going to look at all these items. Okay, what is academic writing, and then the conventions, how to write, and also another issue, which is a new issue. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with it, but I think most of you should be, plagiarism. Okay, have you heard about it, plagiarism? Okay, it's very important in having academic integrity in academic writing. Okay, so that comes by not committing the academic crime, which is plagiarism. Okay, so these are our learning objectives for today. Okay, let's look at the first slide here on the items. Purpose of academic writing. Okay, why do we write? Why do you have to write? I think basically most of you say you have to write because you have to pass the course, isn't it? To get a grade. Okay, but there's a reason behind it. Why do you write? You write to examine. To examine here means to investigate further, to find out further. Let's say you're supposed to write a discussion-based assignment. Okay, so you have to do investigation, find out the literature review and so on, then you write. Okay, you want to test something. Okay, especially those who are in the sciences, you do your lab experiments. Okay, then you have the output, the findings. Okay, you're testing something and you're writing. And the last one is drive out. Drive out is for persuasive writing. Okay, to persuade your readers. Okay, especially when you have, for example, you need to write some pamphlets, articles for a newspaper to persuade people to do something, maybe collect donations and so on. Okay, that's drive out, to persuade people. Okay, these are some other purposes of why you write. Maybe whatever you are doing might fall under this one of these categories or might not. Okay. Do you get to share these PowerPoints later? Do CDAE give it to you all? Yes. No. Yes. Okay, never mind. I'll give it to Noel. Then maybe he can send it to you all. He has your emails, isn't it? Okay, so you don't have to take down all the items here, all the points. Okay, so these are the other purposes of why we write. Why we write. Okay, discover knowledge. Why you write is to discover knowledge, to find more information, new knowledge on how you can apply them in your daily life. Then make a point. That one is argumentative. So what is your stand? What is your point? Let's say you have to write an essay for LSP 400 on abortion. Should we make abortion legal in Malaysia? Okay, so you make a point. Okay, like I mentioned just now, one of the purposes is drive out. So you're persuading the reader. Okay, sharing information. You synthesize information. You have a lot of information that you collected from your library research, internet research. Okay, you can't put in everything in your assignment, isn't it? In your write-up. So what do? You have to evaluate, see what information that you need. Okay, what information that you can play around with. that can suit your objectives, that will help you in your objectives of your assignment. Okay, and all the others. Okay, step-by-step process. When you start writing, first of all, you're given an assignment to write. What do? You need to read and then do further research on that. You do a lot of reading. Okay, to do a lot of reading, then brainstorm ideas. This is very good when you have assignments to do and reports and so on. Although it's individual work, you're given individual work by your lecturers, you can always do this in groups or pairs. Okay, brainstorm ideas. Okay, two heads are better than one. Okay, that's always the case, so you need to brainstorm ideas. And before you start writing, whatever we do, it is the same like you want to build a house. You cannot have a house in one day, isn't it? You need to come up with the framework. The framework are the pillars of your house. Okay, the same, your assignment, your essays, your academic work, you need to have pillars. You cannot simply go into straight away and start writing what you want to write. You must have the framework. So the framework here will be the outline. Okay, the outline. Okay, then from there you have your outlines, you expand your outline. When you're expanding your outline is your draft, which you're writing. I think basically most of you are doing all this. Okay, so what I'm doing firstly here is to flash back, to give you an idea what you are actually doing. Maybe you're aware of it, or at the same time maybe you're not aware of what you've been doing. Okay, and maybe some of you have not been doing this. Okay, then review your draft which you have written for content. See, do you have sufficient content, sufficient knowledge? Okay, is it sufficient to defend your point? Okay, and then you revise your draft. Okay, revising the draft means editing. Editing the draft, one can be editing for the content. Okay, you're not happy with what you have collected, what you have read, the literature review that you collected. So you want to do changes, you revise for that. Next one, language editing. Okay, either you do the language editing, or nowadays there are a lot of ghost writers, isn't it? You know ghost writers? Do you all apply the services of ghost writers? Or do you take all the effort to write your own assignments, your own academic work? Okay, ghost writers are people who you pay to write for you. Okay, there are a lot of ghost writers around in campus and outside campus. Sungai Dua, you have a lot. Okay, but don't do that. That's wrong. Academic integrity is not there. Okay, so you revise yourself. It's okay, you have revised it, especially for language editing. You can send it to an editor. Okay, if you're not from the area of languages, okay, it's not your field. Let's say you're from the sciences, like biology, chemistry, or management, English, you're weak in language, proficiency wise you're not that good. You can send it to a language editor to edit for you. Okay, for the grammar section, for the mechanics, grammar and so on. Okay, but please be careful, when you send it to an editor, to an outsider, when you get back your work, you do not submit it like that. You must go through and revise it again. Okay, because your thoughts, your views of what you have written might not match the language editor. Okay, by editing the language, the editor might accidentally change what you want to actually say. Okay, so it's very important for you to revise it again. Okay, how something is written is very important, and how every individual reflects on what is written is very important. Okay, you might write A, B, C, you look at it differently. Another person also might write A, B, C, but then the meaning is different. Okay, so you need to revise it again. That's very important. So you continue reviewing and revising as needed. That's very important. Okay, ideas to write. Okay, before you write something, it's very important that you read text related to the topic. Okay, like you get LSP 400. Should we make abortion legal in Malaysia? Okay, by just writing based on your prior knowledge, it's not sufficient. You might not be able to have a good product. Okay, You can write well based on your prior knowledge. Okay, but what is the latest in the market? Okay, based on my observation and my interaction with the students, I've noticed that majority of the students do not read much. You lack in reading. Okay, the starting point, let me give you a very resourceful agent to read is the newspaper, which I think you all will say, no time, got a lot of assignments, got lectures, got tutorials. I understand that, but now with internet, you go spend time on social networks like Twitter, Facebook, isn't it? You do that. Okay, but at the same time, you still have knowledge there, isn't it? Do you take the initiative to read long texts, or you just go for the short text and that's it? Okay, so you need to read to have the background knowledge to support you in your writing. It's very important. So come back to the question again. You want to write on this issue, should abortion be made legal in Malaysia? Do you have any prior knowledge on the laws that we have, acts that we have in Malaysia? You don't, because you're not from the law field, you know. So what do? So you need to read. You cannot just write based on what you have, your prior knowledge, you know. You need to read up more to find more about the topic. Okay, so read related text to your topic, and then brainstorming. Okay, this brainstorming, there are a lot of ways you can do brainstorming. Tony Buzan, any of you read Tony Buzan before? Okay, you have the mind mapping and so on. Okay, you can do a lot of kinds of mind mapping. Okay, this also, mind mapping also helps you in your during your study week. You're studying for your exams, you're overloaded with a lot of information, isn't it? Okay, so mind mapping helps a lot for you to organize all your data, your points and so on. Okay, any of you do mind mapping in your daily life, in your lectures and so on for your exams? Oh, we have one hand over there, that's good. The others, you're shy. Okay, mind mapping is one very good technique, you know, for you to organize your points, your ideas, you know, so that you don't have to take so much of effort, put so much of strain on your brain, memorizing for your exams. So mind mapping, you can use mind mapping for writing your assignments also. It's coming up. This is an example of the framework. Okay, you need to come up with a framework before you write. Doesn't matter, it's 1,000 words assignment, 2,000, 3,000, 20,000, master's thesis, your final year project, your dissertation. You must have a framework. Okay, the types of framework that you can have here. Listing of ideas, clustering according to groups, the mind mapping, free writing. Okay, get views from others. How we think is always different. Okay, I can say the glass is half empty. Another person says the glass is half full. How you look at things is different. Okay, share ideas with others. What are the others' opinion about an issue? Okay, like making abortion legal in Malaysia. I think it's good. Okay, another person might say it's not good, and he shares his or her ideas, and you kind of like think that it's correct also, you know. So it's good. Okay, so research the topic. Do a lot of research online. Discussing the issues with others is also researching. Okay, it's also a part of researching. Okay, next one. Once you have developed your idea, main idea, what you're going to write it out. What you're going to write? You develop your outline now. Okay, develop an outline. Okay. Okay, how does an outline look? Okay, later I'll show you the outline. How does it look? See the next one. I'll explain to you all first. Develop an outline. An outline will be like this one. I'm going to use LSP level essay. It's easier to explain, you know, and then you can expand it to a longer assignment, a lengthier assignment, your final year project, final year dissertation, and so on. Okay, so let's say for LSP 401, you have to write, how many words do you write for LSP level 400 essays? 500 words? None of you are taking LSP 400. All of you lacking energy. Is it waiting for lunch? Okay, how many words do you write for LSP level 4? Everybody takes 400, isn't it here? So how many words do you have to write?
350.
Oh, that's very short. Okay, let's make it 500 words. For example, you have to write an essay, 500 words. Okay, so basically, roughly how many points do you need? The main ideas. You should have at least 3 or 4. Okay, if you can really expand one idea in a very long, elaborate manner, you can have 3. If not, go for 4 or 5. Okay, but based on the number of words. Now I'm going at 500. Okay, so you have a 500 words. You have 4 main ideas. So that means each paragraph is one idea only. So you develop that idea. Okay, that's coming up with the outline. Okay, which I will elaborate later when we go to that part. So the outline is very important. Whenever you're writing, you must have the outline beside you as you're writing your essay. Okay, it will be your chart, a guide for you, so you don't go off track. Sometimes in exams, why you go off track? Because when you're writing and suddenly the points all get jumbled up, there's no cohesiveness, there's no linkage between one idea to another idea. So that is where you lose marks. You must have a draft. Even for the exams, when you go for your exams, you have to write, isn't it? Come up with the draft and the outline. Okay, the outline. What are the main ideas that you're going to talk about? Okay, that's very important. It will make you stay focused. It will save time. Okay. So for every main point, you need several supporting details. I'll come to that later. Okay. So let's look at paragraph level concern. When you're writing a paragraph level. Okay, one paragraph, one main idea. You have one main idea, isn't it? One paragraph. Okay. For example, let's take, abortion should be made legal in Malaysia. What main idea can we have for this topic, if you agree with this? Anybody? Abortion should be made legal in Malaysia. Do you agree or disagree? Okay, I agree now. What one idea, main idea that I can use to support my agreement? Can anybody give me one idea? One point which I can use for my essay? Yeah?
The young couple cannot afford a child.
Young couple cannot afford a child. Okay. Our friend here suggested, he's from the School of Biology, isn't it? Okay, suggested that the reason why abortion should be made illegal is to give opportunity for young couples, okay, who are not able to afford having a family yet. When you have a child, you have a family, isn't it? You have a husband, a wife, and a child. Okay? Based on the financial crisis in today's world, with the high cost of living, it's difficult, isn't it? But then when it comes to the husband and wife relationship, accidents happen. So you have the pregnancy. Okay? So it will give chance, opportunity for the young couple, to decide to have the abortion. Okay, so let's take this idea. So we have the main idea is giving opportunity for young couple to opt for abortion. Okay, so you have the main idea. So now you must make sure the supporting details. For that main idea, you must have supporting details. Supporting details comes in terms of elaboration. Elaboration means you explain in detail. Okay, what do you mean by young couple? Why do you mean by opt for abortion? Why opt for abortion? You explain in detail. As you're explaining in detail for this main idea, you can also give example. Okay, give a calculation. Okay, the couple is earning this much per month, 3,000. Okay, after deducting their utility bills, their loans and so on, they are left with this much. How can they support a new child? The milk, the diapers and everything. Okay, so explain, elaborate, give examples. Provide data, statistics, provide quotations. If you read a lot, you'll be able to provide a lot of quotations from people. Okay, the learned, the wise, who have written a lot of quotations. Do you all know Abdul Kalam? Who is Abdul Kalam? Okay, he's the former president of India. He's passed away. His quotes are really fantastic. Okay, for those of you who have not heard about him before, please go and search. His quotes are fantastic. Abdul Kalam. Okay, it teaches you about life. Okay, teaches you about life. Okay, so that's off track already now, sorry. Okay, so your explanation, elaborations, data, statistics. Use proverbs in your essays when you write your assignments related to what you're writing. Okay, so when you do all that, you're able to link all those information. You will have a paragraph which is well developed and cohesive. Okay, the idea, the explanation in that one idea connects to each other. Okay, it's cohesive. Okay, and coherence will be to clarify the logic of the paragraph. The topic sentences is the connection between the content and also the language. Okay, so you have 1 point for that one essay. You have 500 words essay, you got 5 ideas, main ideas. What we've just discussed is one main idea. This main idea is known as topic sentence. We call it topic sentence. Okay, so each paragraph will have a topic sentence. Okay, now we come to the topic sentence here. This is what I was telling you just now. A topic sentence. So young parents cannot afford to have a child, so they will opt for abortion. So that's your topic sentence for one paragraph. Okay, so what is the function of a topic sentence? The topic sentence is actually to support the thesis. Thesis here refers to a thesis statement. Okay, when you're writing an essay, you will have the head, you have the tail, isn't it? Okay, the head is your introduction paragraph. Okay, so your introduction paragraph, okay, will have information which we call thesis statement. Okay, thesis statement is a summary of your whole essay. What are you talking about in your essay? Okay, what are you discussing in your essay? You're discussing about abortion, one. You're discussing about abortion being made legal. Okay, you will define abortion. You will say in Malaysia abortion is not legal. So that is your introduction paragraph, which will contain information on thesis statement. Okay, so each assignment you write, each report, each dissertation, whatsoever, brochures or pamphlet, newspaper article, you must have the head and the tail and the body. Okay, so the head is a thesis statement. So the topic sentence will express a claim that supports the thesis, your introduction paragraph. So, and then topic sentence will be in the body, in the content paragraphs. Each paragraph will have one topic sentence. Okay, so to stay focused, make sure each paragraph will always have one topic sentence. It's very important. Do not make a paragraph very heavy for readers. Okay, readers need things which are easy to understand, easy to read. Okay, so whatever you write, you must not only think of yourself, you must always think about the reader. Make it reader friendly. Okay, make it reader friendly. Yeah? So it's very important. One paragraph, one topic sentence. Okay, then you must have transitions. Transitions I will explain later. A lot of examples there. Okay, proper pacing. Types of sentences that you write, long sentences, sentences with a lot of clauses, and so on, short sentences. Okay, how you write is very important. The language aspects. I cannot do all that in 1.5 hours lecture here, but just to give you some tips, some ideas on academic writing. Okay, look at the example here. You're given some examples here. Okay, you're given 3 examples there on the sentences. Okay, the first example will be your best example for thesis statement compared to the other two. The other two do not have sufficient support to tell the reader what you are talking about. Okay, this is transitional words and phrases. Look at the transitional words and phrases. Ask yourself, how much do I use all of this in my work, in my writing? For those of you who have to write a lot of work in English, how much of this do I use? Okay, this one might sound very unimportant, okay, but it is very important for the readers. Okay, it's very important for you to show a smooth flow, in your writing. Okay, the transitional words and phrases. There are variety of transitional words and phrases. Okay, here I've given an example of some. Okay, this one shows or connects between a sentence to another sentence. Like you want to provide extra information, it's additional. Okay, and all the other words. More importantly, furthermore. Okay, you want to show contrast, however, on the other hand. Okay, conversely, and so on. Okay, you want to add on something, one after another, subsequently, and so on. You have here. Okay. Okay. Avoid beginning with coordinating conjunctions. English language at the moment is being polluted. Okay, in USM and basically in Malaysia especially, we were under the British last time. Okay, so we still maintain or we still follow British English in our writings. Okay, but what's happening is there are a lot of changes happening, a lot of things coming in, whereby if you see the American writers, they will start their sentence with because. After a sentence, full stop, start with because. Okay, after one sentence, the next sentence, full stop, start with and. That is not possible here in our education context. Okay, if you become an American writer, next time you leave and get American PR, you go there, you write, it's okay, no problem, but not here. Okay, we don't accept that. Okay, do not start sentences with and because. Okay, and that's happening now a lot. And especially using the SMSs, Twitter, WhatsApp language in your essays. That's happening, I think because you're not aware when you write. When you're writing academic writing, I've seen this in the exam scripts. Okay, students using the SMS language in your academic writing. Okay, so you must be more aware of what you are doing. Self-reflection is very important. Okay, don't do that. Okay, referencing sources. These are some referencing sources here on when to use references and so on. This one you must have one individual lecture. Then only you can learn about referencing sources. But basically in USM we use the APA style. Have you heard about the APA style? American Psychological Association. Okay, academic writing in USM we use APA style. We have different styles also, MLA and Harvard, Chicago. Okay, but we use APA style. Like you're studying in UKM, they have their own style. They call it Gaya UKM. Okay, for writing their dissertations, theses and so on. Okay, USM we follow APA style. How you write, how you cite the author that you have read in your assignment, and how do you write the references and so on. Okay, we need to follow the APA style. That one you have to have a lecture by itself. But you can go and read up on APA style, okay, by yourself. Okay, just now we looked at paragraphs level concern. Now is a sentence level. Okay. This one, views are different. Different scholars have different views. Some say when you do your writings, you use the active voice. Okay, some scholars go for passive voice. Okay, look at the writing when you write. Do you use a lot of active voice or passive voice? Especially experiments. When you do experiments, when you're writing the reports, do you use a lot of active voice or passive voice? Okay, so use active voice, clear and strong verbs. balanced hierarchy of ideas, punctuation and quotes. So at the end of the day, your readers, your lecturers, your examiners must be able to understand what you are writing. Okay, that's very important. Okay, this is what I was telling you about just now, the format of your writing. You must come out with this outline before you start writing anything. Okay, you can extend and extend, have many levels. Okay, but basically the first paragraph is normally your thesis statement paragraph. Okay, then goes to your content paragraph. You have the main point. Okay, let's say in this for this essay there are 2 content paragraphs because there are only 2 main points. So for each main point you provide the supporting point, and for the supporting point give the details like what I mentioned just now. These are very important. Elaborate, explain, share experience. Okay, provide data, statistics, okay, a true story. Okay, but normally a true story is not really acceptable in academic writing. But if you're writing academic writing in US, it's acceptable, not in Malaysia. In UK version, we don't do that. Okay, let's say you want to write your dissertation, maybe final year project or whatsoever you're doing a study. So you need to find what is the problem. Okay, your statement of problem. If you're writing based on the US format, your statement of problem or the issue that you want to investigate or research can be based on your observation. Okay, you can write, based on my observation, I find that students are very obsessed with Facebook during the lectures. Okay, everybody is on their gadget using Facebook during lectures. Okay, so I want to investigate this problem. Why is there such a trend? Okay, so you can write in that way. But if we follow the British version, the Malaysian in our Malaysian setting, we do not allow academic writing, research using problems based on observation. It must have concrete evidence. Okay, based on research done previously by somebody, it was found that 50% of the students are hooked on Facebook during lectures. Then that is a problem. Then you can research. Why you want to find out now. But you will tell me, some of them will come and say, nobody has done a research before on it. So I cannot find anything to support what I want to do. How then? How then? Why can I use my observation? No, you can't. You basically can't at all. If nothing has been done before, so it's not worthwhile investigating. It's not worthwhile investigating because we don't go by that here. Okay? So for every main point, so you must have the supporting points. Okay? So whatever you write in academic writing must be objective, supported by evidence, concrete. Okay? It cannot be based on feelings, emotions. Okay, I really feel abortion must be legalized in Malaysia. I really feel it must be legalized in Malaysia because so. Based on your emotions, you cannot. It will not be accepted. Okay. Okay, so this is what I mean. In academic writing, you cannot be emotional. You must be critical. Okay, critical and analytical, it's very important. So use the language very precisely. Okay, your number of words, the word count, vocabulary. Okay, your vocabulary bank is very important. Vocabulary bank. Okay, have you ever done a research on yourself? On your vocabulary bank, how many word count you have? How many word count? Okay, you must go and read. There's one scholar by the name of Nation, N-A-T-I-O-N. Okay, there is a guide, that provides you the word count for according to the age level and your education level. Okay, you can find out where do you stand and see whether you have that word count or not. Okay, so you get to use the language precisely, and subject specific way. So like I mentioned just now, adopting a positive or claim, like making abortion legal. So what is your stand? What is your claim? And how do you support that critically? Okay. Okay, you'll be asking me, I'm talking about critical writing. I think in this one there is a course, a talk by itself, isn't it? Critical writing. Critical writing is very important in academic writing. Okay, what is critical writing? Critical writing is always not bringing in, one thing is emotions into your writing. Okay, criticality. How do you observe criticality? You need to provide backing, evidence for whatever you say. You must be able to analyze whatever information that you find, evidence. Okay, you need to analyze. Is it true? Is it false? Okay, why should I support evidence A? Why should I support evidence B? That will show your criticality, your maturity in your write-up. Okay, so evaluate and weigh up ideas, state your point, consider available evidence. Evidence, you get evidence. How sure are you the evidence that you got is true or not? Okay, so based on your prior knowledge, your prior read-up and so on, you take a stand. I believe that this argument is true based on support with other evidence. Okay, that's how you consider available evidence. Possible counter arguments. Certain evidence you feel that they are not valid, so you counter argue that evidence. Okay, you counter argue that evidence, claim that is proven throughout the paper. Okay, this is one way or some ways which you can observe or promote criticality, okay, within yourself and so on. Okay, like I mentioned just now, academic writing, you cannot have opinions. Okay, opinions will be lack of evidence. Okay, you can have opinion, but your opinion must be supported by evidence. If it's not supported by evidence, opinions will stay opinions, not strong, will not be accepted. Okay, especially later on when you proceed, if many of you I think will be considering to furthering your studies at master's and PhD level. Okay, criticality is very important in academic writing at higher level. Okay. Okay, this one, like I mentioned just now, for every essay you must have a head, isn't it? So your head is your introduction paragraph. So your introduction paragraph, you need to have a thesis statement that introduces your whole essay, what you're writing in your content paragraphs, what you're writing in your conclusion paragraph. Okay, look at this. You have some examples here. Okay, which thesis statement is the most effective? The argument is the need for V-chips in television sets. Okay, what are V-chips for? V-chips are to control children's viewing habits. Okay, nowadays you know television is used for as a babysitter, isn't it? Okay, when parents are busy working, cleaning the house, doing other chores in the house, you use television as a babysitter. Okay, so that's an essay that you have to write on. So look at these thesis statements that you can apply for your introduction paragraph. Okay, which will be the best or the most effective thesis statement? What do you all think? First, okay, we give them a number 1, 2, 3, starting from the top. Okay, which one? 1 or 2 or 3? Anybody? It's about you're going to write an essay on the need for V-chips in television sets. So which do you think will be the best introduction for you, for your essay? A thesis statement for your introduction paragraph. 1, 2 or 3? Anybody? 1. Others? 2. Others? Okay, we have 1 and 2. So 3 is not acceptable, isn't it? Okay, how many of you go for 1? Raise your hands. Okay. What about 2? The best one will be the second one, 2. Some of you never raise your hands. You're neutral. Okay. So steps in constructing the argument. Steps in constructing the arguments. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, to help parents monitor their children's viewing habits, the V-chip should be required feature for television sets sold in US. Okay. So how can you construct the argument? How can you construct the argument? How can you construct the argument? Okay, why do you need a V-chip in the televisions? What is the problem with the children? What is the problem with the children? What problems do the children face? Not only the problem with the children, the problem with the children and the problem that the children face are two different things. Okay? So what problems they face? That's why you need the V-chip. So you construct the argument. Okay, then you organize your argument, you develop. When I say develop, you go back to the format again. Supporting details. Okay, your explanation, elaboration, give data, statistics, illustration, quotation, share a story, give proverbs and so on. Okay, so develop your argument, document points and claims. This one is critical writing, like I mentioned just now. If you have any data, if you don't have an exact figure, use language. Okay, use the language to explain, like slightly higher than 50%, for example. Okay, majority. Okay, less than 40%. Okay, use this kind of general data, statistics, if you don't have the exact numbers. Okay, and lastly, references and bibliography. This is very important to avoid plagiarism. Okay, another one is the PI formula. You can also use this PI formula. PI is point, illustration and explanation. Okay, that means what is the main point you want to make in your essay? Illustration will be a quote or paraphrase from the text. Okay, because you cannot plagiarize word by word. You take what somebody else has written, but you paraphrase. You rewrite it. You rewrite in your own words. That is paraphrase. But the essence, the meaning of the original author's idea is still there. Okay, that's very important. And then you explain about what you paraphrased. What does it mean? Okay, explain it in detail. That's the PI formula that you can use. Point, illustration and explanation. So this one I've gone through just now with you, the transition words that you can use. It's very important to keep your text coherent. Okay, to use all these words or phrases in your writing. Especially when you're doing your LSP essays. These are very good, okay, for you to make use. Okay, this one is the conclusion. The conclusion paragraph. Okay, the conclusion paragraph. Conclusion paragraph is the ending, the tail of your essay or dissertation or whatsoever. Normally what happens is, in a conclusion paragraph, you can repeat what you wrote in your introduction paragraph, the thesis statement. You can repeat that. Okay, you can repeat that. Or if you don't want repetition, you rephrase what you have written, the thesis statement, in your introduction paragraph. Okay, you're rephrasing it or you repeat it. Okay, so how you write, make sure you leave an impact on your reader. Okay, send out a very strong message. Send out a very strong message. Leave the reader with a closing thought. Okay, at the end, give a quote, a proverb. Okay, that relate to what you have written. Okay, you write something about working hard in life. You can end with a proverb. Okay, strike the iron while it's hot. Okay, you want to teach somebody, the pot calling the kettle black, correct? Or the kettle calling the pot black? Which one? The pot calling the kettle black. Okay. Okay, these are some academic conventions that you must avoid when you do academic writing. Okay, we should use in oral form, oral communication. Okay, try not to use the personal pronouns I, you, we. Okay, next one, the contractions. In essays, academic work, do not use contractions. Isn't, wasn't, weren't, aren't, and so on. These are not allowed when you do academic writing. Don't use contractions, doesn't, don't, and so on. Okay, slangs, personal tone. Do not have emotions, feelings, and so on. Make it critical, very academic. Vague ideas, ideas which are not clear. Okay, which will not provide a strong impact on the reader, a strong, it doesn't give a strong evidence to support what you're writing about. Like example, making abortion legal in Malaysia. Okay, lastly, academic writing. In academic writing, academic integrity is very important. Like I mentioned just now, plagiarism. I think the first year students, you all go through a plagiarism course, isn't it? A course on plagiarism. The first year students, the new students. Yes or no? No. I think there is, organized by CDAE. I'm not sure, but they're supposed to be already now at the moment. Do you know that we have an academic integrity unit in USM? Okay, I think here you all are still lucky because for those who are second year, third year, and final year, whatever work that you do, your assignments, do you have to scan it through the plagiarism software, turn it in before you submit to your lecturers? You don't. Some of the private universities are doing it. You're lucky it's not done here. Okay, it's only done at master's and PhD level at the moment. But now it's for you to start taking the steps of avoiding plagiarism, because eventually for undergraduate levels also, for assignments, we will have that, whereby all your assignments, your research work, your projects have to go through the software for scanning to detect plagiarism. Okay, so avoid plagiarism, very important. Why you need to avoid plagiarism? Because you cannot take other people's words, ideas, and acknowledge them as your own when it's not really your own, unless you paraphrase it and you give the reference, where is it taken and paraphrased from. If you don't do that, you claim it as your own, it's not right. Okay, that's the reason. And another thing about plagiarism is, you have written one article, for example, one assignment, and the next time you use that information from that assignment to write another assignment, that is still considered plagiarism. It's self-plagiarism. So you must acknowledge yourself that you took from your previous article, your previous report. Okay, because if not, it's known as self-plagiarism. Okay. Okay, earlier we saw at the academic convention the don'ts. Now these are the do's. Do's. Okay. I've noticed when I do my examination duties, when I go when I become the invigilator for exams and so on, because we are from the languages, from the School of Languages, so words are very important. What meanings the words have is very important. Okay, you have words like list, explain, describe, discuss, analyze, evaluate. The degree of difficulty in terms of writing information for these words is different. What do you mean by list? Can you please list for me the things you want for dinner? So you write A, tomato, B, ketchup, C, burger. That's all. List. Okay. If I ask you, can you discuss with me what you want to have for dinner? Do you write A, ketchup, B burger, C tomatoes? You cannot, because I'm asking you to discuss. Okay, so what I'm expecting you, information from you, is heavier compared to least. Okay, the degree of how do I say the information that you're going to provide me is not at the knowledge level. Okay, like this. How many of you studied the Bloom's taxonomy? Okay, we have a few layers: knowledge, comprehension. None of you are aware of that. Okay, there are layers of information. The same goes with your exam questions. You know, in the exam questions, when you're asked to discuss something, okay, you have to provide analytical thinking, critical thinking in your discussion. Example, abortion should be made legal in Malaysia. I ask you to discuss. So you need to provide me points from both sides, agreement and disagreement. Then you tell me what is your stand based on the agreement and disagreement. And why is that your stand? Why? Why you are agreeing and why you are not disagreeing? Okay? And if I just ask you to list the points why abortion should be legalized, you just give the points, that's all. No discussion involved. No evaluation of the points. Okay? So what you do must be based on what is required in a question. That's what I want to tell you here. Okay? So academic conventions do means address both sides of the argument, cite your source. Academic writing is always formal. Okay, take a stand if you're asked to take a stand. Are you for it or are you against it? Or you can sit on the fence. Okay, sit on the fence means you can be for, you can be against also. Okay, using concrete details. Okay, this one's some advice. Give yourself time to develop your paper. Okay, so this one, like just now I mentioned the supporting details. What can it be? Apart from elaboration, explanation, you can have facts, okay, concrete evidence, okay, data, examples, anecdotes. You can share stories, experiences, true ones, or you create one. If it's not academic writing, you can create. If it's academic writing, you cannot create, because academic writing have to be true, have to be objective. Okay, expert testimony. Okay, like for example, making abortion legal in Malaysia, you against it. Okay, you get testimony from the gynecologist. Okay, ladies who have gone through abortions for 3 times, will be very difficult for them to conceive later on. Okay, that is expert testimony. Then you have course observation. In academic writing here in USM, we don't advise or encourage observations. Okay, because they are not objective. Okay, my observation might not be the same as your observation. So how do I ensure that the observation is objective? Okay, and then statistics. Statistics. Okay, this one, recapping what I've done earlier, organizing your arguments. Okay, so this one is a outline for one essay or one assignment or dissertation, whatever you do, or report and so on. Okay, this one was taken from the Purdue University Writing Lab. Yeah, if you need more information on academic writing, you can always go to the Purdue University website. It's one of the best sources. Okay, even their APA style of writing is a very good one. They have very good information for you on the APA style, Purdue University. Okay, so just recapping what we have gone through just now. Okay, so this one is recapping also, developing your argument, your body paragraphs, topic sentences. Okay, source material, reliable evidence. Evidence needs to be reliable, whatever you use. Some evidence are not reliable. If you notice, if you read the newspaper recently, there's one Japanese scientist. Have you read about her? I forgot the name. She reported her findings, you know, in one of the established journals. but after that it was retrieved because all the findings were false, were not true. Okay, I'm not sure about the name. Okay, reported false findings. He's a Japanese researcher, a scientist. It's a few months ago, no? A few months ago. Okay, show line of reasoning. So this one, coherence and cohesiveness is very important. How you link your ideas, the language that you use to link your ideas, and so on. Show awareness or complicities. It means your counter arguments. Don't sit on the fence. Either agree or disagree if you're asked to. No. Okay, your conclusion also based on evidence. No new claims. No new claims means suddenly as you're writing and writing and writing, you come to the conclusion and you remember one new idea. Can you start putting new points in your conclusion? You can't. You cannot. You must never give a shock to your readers. Okay, do not come up with new ideas, new points, new information in the conclusion paragraph. The conclusion paragraph is a summary of your total work that you have done earlier. Not coming up with new information, new claims. Don't ever do that in conclusion. Okay. Okay, this one, there are some examples of transition words again. Signposting your line of reasoning. Okay, especially when you do reasoning, when you want to get the readers to understand what view are you supporting. Okay, signposting your line of reasoning. Therefore, thus, hence, so, as a result. Okay, indicator words for reasons. Okay, next one is tentative or hedging. Okay, cohesion and flow. How you have that? Okay. Okay, you have information which is parallel. Okay, that's basically definitions. You have definitions. One explanation for increasing rates of anorexia is you provide the example. Okay, it's parallel. So repetition, you repeat some key words, some important words. Okay, then you have the given information and the new information. In a sentence, when you write, you have information. Okay, then you go to the next sentence. When you write your next sentence, the second sentence, it will be related to the earlier sentence, your first sentence. So the information from the first sentence in your second sentence is the given information. Plus, you have extra information that will be your new information. Okay, that's how a paragraph structure works. I don't have a sample here to show you the given and the new information. Okay, but you can analyze a paragraph. You can see one sentence is connected to another sentence by having repetition of information. It can be same words or different words, but there's a repetition of information. So thereby we have two categories of information in sentences, in paragraphs, given and new. Okay. Prediction, you can have prediction also. Okay. Okay, this one is taken, the source is given there at the bottom. Okay, references I mentioned to you just now, it's very important to acknowledge, okay, from where you take the ideas. Okay, but at undergraduates level, that is lacking, very, very lacking. So that is why when you go further up, when you do your masters and PhD, you find it difficult. So start now. Okay, do proper referencing. Okay, read up on the APA style, because you need to acknowledge, you need to give credit to the person's idea who you are taking. Okay, and furthermore, others can locate. If they want to read further what you wrote on, they can find the reference. Okay, validate argument. If you say something and you quote somebody else, okay, you must give proof. This is what the person said. So you must provide the reference. Increase and spread knowledge. Okay, and the last one, show depth, breadth and quality of your reading. Okay, this one is one website where you can go for referencing. Trinity College, Dublin. It's quite a good one. Okay. Okay, plagiarism I mentioned to you just now. Okay, plagiarism. What is plagiarism? I've mentioned to you also just now, using someone else's ideas or words. Okay, inappropriate use of ideas from books, articles, internet, so on, and also self-plagiarism. Okay, all this you need to avoid. Okay. Okay, so we have come to the end. Okay, these are the further information. I will ask Noel if he wants a copy, then you can take it from him. Okay. Okay, hope you enjoyed the session today. Okay, do you have, before your leave, anybody has any questions? Okay, thank you very much for being patient and listening before your lunch. Have a nice lunch.